Welcome. This time is just for you, a time that you've taken in your day to make way for total and complete relaxation. Today we'll be focusing on feeling nice and calm and at complete peace with ourselves and our surroundings. During our busy and sometimes hectic lifestyles, we can forget to take the time to just take care of ourselves. The time to just relax both our mind and our body. During our everyday lives, we sometimes forget how much pressure we put on both our minds and our bodies. So it's important to just take a moment to just process everything you've been through during the day and to regroup and recharge yourself. During this guided meditation, we'll focus on our breathing and we'll reconnect in the simplest way with our mind and our body. You don't need to do anything. You can simply just listen. If this is your first guided meditation and you're finding it a little hard to switch off, do not worry at all. All good things come to those who wait. The important thing is you've taken the first step into relaxation and into a better state of mind and better health. What we tend to forget is that in order for us to function at our best, our mind needs to be nourished. It needs to be cared for. By taking time out like this, you're taking the time to just regroup and recharge all the energy that you put out on a daily basis. This is the moment to recharge yourself, re-energize yourself. This is your time just for you. No one else, just you. So when you're thinking, perhaps, is this a little too indulgent? Just sitting or laying here, listening to this. Whilst perhaps you should be busying yourself with tasks. Ask yourself again, do you deserve this relaxation? If you're still a little puzzled if you do or not, I'll simply tell you that you do. Everyone deserves to relax, deserves to recharge their batteries, deserves to feel better taking care of ourselves is something that's so simple and basic, and yet it's something that so many of us forget to do. However, you, right now, have chosen to take care of yourself, so there is no need to question. Just accept the fact that you're here, and together we're going to learn how to keep in this calm and relaxed state. In this state, you're going to feel no worry. You're going to feel no stress, no anxiety, no pain. This is about you at your most simple state. This sense of complete freedom will almost create a weightlessness in yourself. You'll feel free, happy, completely at ease. So don't worry about this process. Just imagine yourself in that feeling of weightlessness, and together we will get you there. Now, the first thing to do is to learn how to breathe properly. This may seem a little simple, and don't worry, it is really. But some of us find it difficult to actually control our breathing. Being able to control every breath is very freeing. It enables you to just sit in the moment. It enables your mind and your body to just be at peace. So let me help you now. What we're going to do is take a deep breath in, and as we do so, we're going to feel as we inhale, and we're going to hold just for a moment, and then we're going to breathe out slowly. And as you do this, you can feel just your shoulders just relaxing a little, and your whole body, in fact, just easing a little bit more. Sometimes we take for granted the simple things like this. Being able to control something like our breathing. But it's these simple things that can make all the difference. When we find ourselves in panicked states, times of stress, if you actually zone in on your breathing during these times, you'll find that you're breathing quite rapidly, and of course your heart rate is also going faster and faster as your mind begins to pace. And in these moments, we seem almost unable to control how our mind and body reacts. So, by learning these proper breathing techniques, we can take these into the everyday stresses that we may be dealing with. It's all about feeling every stage of the breathing process. Feeling as we breathe in and take in that air, and as we hold, we just focus on how in control you are of this movement. And as you slowly release, you smile at how simple that was, and how just taking that little moment has made such a difference. Think about how much easier a stressful situation would have been if you'd have known how to just simply stop and control your breathing. Think how much better you would have felt, how much more in control. Because at the end of the day, that's what all of this is about. Learning how to take control. And many of us are frightened to do this. But it's okay. It's a positive thing to be able to take control. And once we learn how to take control of our body, we can learn how to take control of our mind. And once we gain that control, we can learn to deal with things much, much easier. Think about how much easier you would sleep, how much more rested you would feel, how much better you would function, all by learning to take back that control. We live in such busy times that sometimes it's hard to switch off. It's something that so many of us deal with. And if you're listening right now feeling like you may be the only one, I can definitely tell you you're not. So many of us just seek relaxation but don't know how to achieve it. By taking the time each day to just focus on yourself and switch off from society, we begin to reconnect. We realize the lack of importance of all things online, social media, work, politics. We realize that actually things can be much simpler. We need to take care of ourselves, and in turn we can take care of others. it's very important to realize that there's no pressure on you to feel a certain way. These things take time. After listening to this, you may find it still difficult to switch off, but you must accept the fact that you have taken this initial step, and that's a positive step forward. Think about how good you would feel after listening to this for a few times, learning to manage your feelings and emotions, learning to manage any pain that you may be feeling, learning that actually switching off from everything that's going on in your life is as easy as closing your eyes and reconnecting with yourself. Let's take this moment to breathe together. So just focus on your core, on your center, and take a nice, gentle breath in. And hold 2, 3, and breathe out slowly. And again, let's breathe in. Hold and breathe out. Breathe in. Hold and breathe out. And again, breathe in. Hold and breathe out. You're doing so well. Look in how little time you've managed to already learn or begin to learn how to control your breathing. Let's continue. Breathe in, hold, and breathe out. Breathe in, hold, and breathe out. Once more, let's breathe in together. Hold and breathe out. Now I want you to focus in on how that breathing has made you feel. Notice physically your heartbeat slowing. Notice how you're sitting or laying in a more relaxed manner. Notice how all the tension has slowly began to ease. Your shoulders that were feeling quite tense, have relaxed. Your hands that were slightly clenched again have just relaxed. Your toes just easing. You find yourself just feeling like you're floating. Picture the biggest, fluffiest cloud you could possibly dream of. And now picture yourself on that cloud. You are completely weightless, completely at ease. You are in the moment. You're not thinking about anything but this moment. So at ease, so at peace. And remember, this time is just about you. You can choose to take yourself to a favourite place of yours. Think of a favourite memory. Or you can just be in this moment and focus completely on yourself. We're going to take the time together now to focus a little bit on how you're feeling. Think about why you chose to listen today. Think about how you felt the moment before you press play. Were you in a slight state of stress or distress? Were you feeling unhappy or anxious? It doesn't matter how negative the feeling was, because it's okay to feel negative. But what's important is to learn how to get out of that state of mind. So you did the right thing by pressing play, because by the end of this, you're not going to feel like that. And in this short space of time, think how far you'll have come. You've begun to regain control of your breathing, and you've begun to realize that you can control how you feel. In life, we spend so much time thinking about others, what other people think, how other people feel. And whilst of course it's important to think about those who are close to us and care for them, sometimes it's good to ask ourselves how we're feeling, how we're doing. We shouldn't rely on others to ask these questions. We need to check in on ourselves daily. And don't feel like you don't deserve that. or it's a waste of time, taking the moment to just ask these somewhat simple questions can make a big difference. For example, if you asked yourself today, how am I feeling? And the response was somewhat negative, then it's important to take the time out to again regroup and recharge, and just learn to change that emotion. Sometimes emotions can be changed in as little as this session, and sometimes things take a lot longer. What's most important is that you're going in the right direction. You've chosen to take the positive path. Sometimes when we think of things like meditation, we think of them as tools that may not work for us. Perhaps they're a little silly, or you question if they actually work. What I'd like to ask you now is, how are you feeling right in this moment compared to when you press play? We're really only halfway through, and yet I bet that you're already feeling a little bit calmer and a little more positive. Speaking of positivity, sometimes we don't give ourselves enough credit for what we achieve on a daily basis. Let's think about our daily life. From something as simple as waking up, to making breakfast, perhaps going to work or college, perhaps working from home, perhaps just managing our mental health throughout the day, making dinner, perhaps socializing, or just binging what we can on Netflix. All of those activities during the day that we do every day, we take for granted. We don't realize actually how much it takes to complete all of those tasks. We don't realize that we actually put so much pressure on ourselves to complete all of these things. So let's just take a moment to thank ourselves, to be able to say, well done. Well done for waking up. Well done for making yourself breakfast, taking care of yourself. Well done for learning to just manage during the day. Make light conversation. Do whatever you have to do. Well done for coming home, making dinner, or maybe making the effort to go out. Whatever it is that you've done during the day, however big or small you may think something is, everything you do takes effort and time. Everything you do takes energy. It exertion. Everything you do puts stress on your mind and your body. And at the time you may not realize it. You may think what you're doing is normal. But actually so many people aren't able to function like that. Some people really struggle with what perhaps we would consider normal tasks. So that's why it's so important to really thank ourselves for completing every single thing throughout the day. No 2 days are the same, and we come up against many different obstacles. We learn every time how to deal with these, and each time we do, we grow a little bit more. We gain a little bit more knowledge, and we become a little stronger. Thank yourself now for everything you do during the day. And you may think this is a little silly, but really, just say thank you to yourself. Thank you for feeding yourself, for keeping yourself nourished, for keeping yourself hydrated. Thank you for all of these things that we may consider basic or simple things. Once we learn to thank ourselves for these types of things, we begin to appreciate everything a little bit more. We can, of course, learn to take care of ourselves in other ways. Perhaps through a little bit of self-pampering, or through something like exercise. These things are both good for the body and mind. And I would encourage you to explore those routes if something like this isn't enough. Combining, of course, something like meditation with exercise is a very positive way to live. However, there is no right or wrong. What's important is to just listen to yourself and ask yourself what it is that you need, not what someone else needs, just what you need. Let's take a moment to do that now. What is it that you need? Just think for a moment. Once you begin to realize what you need, you can begin to take action. Already now you've realized that you want to take more time for yourself, more time to unwind, more time to relax and self-reflect. Sometimes we can feel it's a little self-indulgent to take these moments. However, it can lead to better physical and mental health, and in turn we can function better in our everyday. We can learn to be kinder, we can learn to care more, to do better, and that's all by doing something so simple. Let's think now about how you're physically feeling. Think about how you felt before you started listening. And I want you to focus on every single area of your body. can seem a little bit difficult to do to start with. So let's start from the toes. How are they feeling? A little bit clenched together? Or are they nice and relaxed? And as you work your way up, just really focus on every little area. How are your knees feeling? Perhaps a little tight. Maybe you've been on your feet all day, or even sat down for long periods. Think about the rest of your legs. How much pressure maybe they've been under. Maybe you've been driving a long way, walking about a lot. Or again, we can feel just as much stress by sitting for long periods. As you work your way up the body, continue just to focus on how you were feeling. Sometimes we can forget to review things like this, and this can lead to problems becoming worse. So it's important to do is to manage things at the time, to recognize a problem, a slight pain, stiffness, tension, and just realize that you can really make a difference just by taking the time to recognize, taking the time just for you to recharge, to take care. Something so simple. Really asking ourselves, how does our body feel? Ask yourself, how do various areas of your body feel? If you find an area of discomfort, think if it's something that you think you can manage. In lots of cases, any pain that we feel can be controlled by our mind. Now obviously there are those who suffer pain for different reasons. However, whatever type of pain you are suffering from, whether it's the type you take medication for or not, we can improve how we feel mentally just by taking the time out to do things like this. To realize that while sometimes pain cannot be stopped, it can be controlled. Pain is different for everyone, and we can suffer both mental and physical pain. But that's okay. Pain shows that you're alive, that you're human. It shows that you have blood pumping around your veins. Pain isn't always permanent. You can also feel mental pain from stress. What's important to recognize is that you're not alone. And you're not just alone in this feeling. So many people suffer from stresses and tensions. And when we can see people who seem to be completely happy and fine, those may be suffering as well. They may not be just shouting about it. And that's okay too. Some people find it difficult to open themselves up to things like that. Things that make them really question how they're really feeling. But what you're doing right now is something brave, something important, something real. You're asking yourself how you feel, not just mentally, but physically, because they both go hand in hand. You're not thinking about anybody else and how they feel. You're just thinking about yourself. You're thinking, okay, maybe I don't feel 100% right now, but then again, who does? But what you are saying is, yes, I feel like that, but I can own up to that and accept it. And I can learn to grow with it and to change it if I want to. I'm in complete control of managing exactly how I feel, both mentally and physically. And that's something that very few people can actually say. So well done. It sounds a little bit odd to be congratulating you, you may think. But you deserve it. And sometimes you may not hear that enough. But you deserve to feel good, happy and calm, at peace and at ease. You deserve to feel at your best. But what many don't realise is that, while sometimes we can seek to feel better through others and through material things, actually by learning to make ourselves feel better, that's the thing that really makes the long-term difference. And that's what you're doing right now. Focus now on your breathing. Feel as your lungs expand. You're breathing and you're alive. You're here right now. You're present. You're in the moment. Think how relaxed your heartbeat is. Just hear it slowly beating. Feel every part of your body completely relax. We just thought about how you felt initially, mentally and physically. Just think about how you feel now. And how do you feel now? And it's okay. It's completely okay if you still don't feel 100%. All we're trying to do together is just to make you feel a little bit happier and a little bit calmer. And there will be those listening who already feel happy and calm, and they just wanted to add this into their daily process. However you're feeling, there is no right or wrong. Learning to manage our emotions can make us better people. It can make us more in touch. Things like empathy make a huge difference. Learning to recognize how others may be feeling. All of these types of things are so important, but we wouldn't be able to experience them if we weren't able to look at ourselves fully. Doing this can be a daunting thing. Asking oneself how one truly feels. But that's okay. Sometimes it's okay to be scared, to not have all the answers, to perhaps not even know exactly how you're feeling. It's okay to not know where you're going, to not know the direction you're taking. All of these things are okay. It's good to ask questions. Questions mean we're thinking and we're caring about the answers. It means we're active. You don't want to stay in this same state. You want to change, you want to develop, you want to evolve. Moments like these are so precious because it's about us becoming better people. It's about changing and growing, developing. It's about seeing ourselves for exactly who we are. And that's the most freeing thing we could ever do. It's about saying, yes, this is how I feel, and I'm okay with that. Or it's saying, yes, that's how I feel, and I'm going to learn how to change that. And all of this comes back to that basic note of learning to control your breathing. Because it's all about control. And taking control can be scary. But once you really learn how to harness it, you can use it for good. By letting your emotions run wild, you aren't really being the best version of yourself. But by controlling how you feel and how you want to feel, you can get the most out of your everyday. And whenever people are thinking about how they want to feel or what they want to look like, all of these things that they want to be like, they tend to be thinking so far ahead in the future, when really we should just be thinking about tomorrow. We should be thinking about getting through today, hopefully waking up refreshed and starting a new day. So many of us can find ourselves in more of an anxious state by questioning our long-term future. We don't need to do this, and we don't need to put this pressure on ourselves. there is no right and wrong path. We are in modern times where we can do so much. We are so lucky because of that. You have so many opportunities to explore, and you don't need to plan out your entire future right now. You just need to think about how you're feeling today and how you'd like to feel tomorrow. By taking time out every day to think of things like this, you'll find yourself in a much more relaxed state. You'll find everyday tasks that were once perhaps quite stressful are now much, much easier. You find that if you have a temper, like so many of us do, you'll find yourself less irritated. You'll turn to your breathing techniques and take a moment out to just rethink how you're really feeling. Normally, negative emotions can come from feeling overwhelmed. And that's what moments like these are about, really. It's about not overwhelming yourself, not thinking too much about everything, just floating along on that big fluffy cloud without a care in the world, enjoying the simple things in life. Just thinking about how good you feel right now and being grateful for that. Thinking about physically how good you feel. Thinking how proud you are of yourself for being able to feel this way. You've been able to do this. No one else. Not me. Just you. You chose to listen today. You chose to make a change. You chose to be at peace with yourself. You chose to shut off your surroundings, to close your eyes and drift away to a place that's simple, easy, to a place where you don't have to think. You can just breathe, be calm, be still, be completely at one with yourself. You can just focus in on the energy that's around you. It's a good, warm energy. You feel content and at ease. You feel yourself feeling grateful for being here, for being able to think like this, be like this, be completely stress-free, free of feeling anxious, free of everyday stresses, just completely in this moment. ask yourself how you feel. Smile. It's okay to feel good. It's okay to let yourself feel like this. Today you've already come so far. And again, let's just focus on that breathing, something so simple, yet something that so many of us forget how to do properly. Just focus on that slow yet deep breath in. And we hold 2, 3, and release. And again, breathe in, hold, and release. Think how much better you feel by being able to regain control. How much more relaxed your muscles feel. You were able to do this so simply. It hasn't taken too much effort or time, but what it has done is it's made you feel at peace, at ease, completely stress-free, and at one with yourself. Who would have thought something as simple as learning to control your breathing would have such a positive effect? And now, as we wind down, we must take the time to thank ourselves for taking this moment out. And thank you for taking this moment with me. Taking moments out like this will benefit you greatly, and I'm grateful that you've joined me on this journey today. Feeling better is something that so many of us may take for granted. Feeling happy and stress-free, but it's something that we must try to take care of. And when we have it, we must cherish it. And when we don't, we must learn that that's okay. But we can get back to a more positive point. And with that, I thank you for joining me again. And I hope that you'll continue to join me to make yourself feel more at ease, more calm, and more at